Hey, do you like outdated cell phones, motorized center consoles, and creamsicles? Yeah, me too. That's today's episode about Pimp My Ride. Guys, we are back with another episode breaking down the classic TV show, Pimp My Ride. I'm actually really excited to bring this series back because in the community tab, I said, which of the two series do you see me bringing back? And you guys voted between Judged by ThatDudeinBlue and bringing back good old PMR. So here we are once again, and I'm so excited to talk about an episode I never actually watched. I actually had no idea what to expect from this episode, so I was actually kind of excited to watch it. And this is one of the later seasons where West Coast Customs wasn't in the picture anymore, and they went over to Galpin Autosports, or known as Gas. And Gas actually has a pretty amazing reputation for building cars, so it was only natural that they went over to them. They actually brought Mad Mike over from West Coast Customs for the TV show because he was such a likable guy and creating all these crazy gadgets for the show. But this one is a doozy and we have a lot to talk about and it's so much fun. So before we get to it, I want to thank today's sponsor, Off the Record. As somebody who drives cars all the time for the channel, you're gonna get tickets every now and then. 41 million drivers get a traffic ticket in the United States every single year. That's 1 in 5 drivers, or also 112,000 people a day. And only 5% of people actually contest their traffic ticket. But sure, the average traffic ticket is $150. So you're like, yeah, pay that off. But unfortunately, over the next 3 years, your insurance rates on average go over $1,000 plus. If you go on Off the Record, all you have to do is take your traffic ticket, take a picture of it, and Off the Record finds a trusted and competent lawyer to fight for you and your case. And this gives you the confidence to always fight your speeding ticket and maintain a clean driving record. You want to keep your insurance premiums low so you don't have that added stress down the road from getting a traffic ticket and not fighting it. Off the Record has a 97% success rate. It's stress-free and gives you peace of mind. You have enough to deal with in life anyway. So no court date, the lawyer will go to court for you and fight your ticket. Not to mention, Off the Record vets their lawyers and they kick off poor performers. So you're gonna get a trusted lawyer. I personally used it in Washington State when I got a reckless driving ticket, and Off the Record helped me get through it during a very stressful time. And I swear by the service, and it's absolutely incredible how easy it is to use. And if you don't get the ticket reduced or dismissed, then it's a money back guarantee from Off the Record. So you have absolutely nothing to lose. So make sure to head over to offtherecord.com/dudeandblue to get 10% off your first ticket on Off the Record, or head to the link in the description below. All right, let's get to talking about this thing. As with any Pimp My Ride episode, it all starts with a good story. It is about a woman who has this piece of junk Celica that works 2 jobs and 1 as a nurse assistant. And finally, Exhibit asks the question that we're all thinking on every single Pimp My Ride episode, and that is, what happened?
What happened? What happened?
Eventually, after all these episodes, you have to wonder, how does a car get to this point? Like, how does it ever get to this point without finally selling the thing off? And this time, the best thing ever is there's a culprit this time. Let me explain. So it's multicolored because the hood latch wasn't latched all the way, so it came up and hit the windshield, and you know, that had to be fun.
Beat it.
It is beat it. It used to be all one color, but the hood flew up and broke the windshield, so we had to go to the junkyard to get a new one.
It's because her boyfriend forgot to latch the hood. To make things even worse, they go back and look at the spoiler, which the spoiler isn't even attached perfectly. And guess who installed the spoiler?
They had to drill holes in, or it was already there.
No, we had to drill holes.
So who's we?
My boyfriend and I.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a pattern here. Maybe you shouldn't work on cars. This guy has the mechanical capacity of a teaspoon. He should not be working on cars. Also, there's no headlight on one side, but that's actually never explained. Maybe it has something to do with the hood flying up, I don't know. But point of matter is, it's only got 1 headlight. Side note, this Celica generation, unfortunately, doesn't get the best rep because it was front wheel drive instead of rear wheel drive, and that's where they kind of made that transition over. Because there was the Celica Supra, and then they split names, which is a very odd thing to do for a car company, to just take one car and then split the name. This is not a GT4 whatsoever. Just don't even think it's a GT4 at all. Just don't even give it a chance. Also, they find some adult diapers inside this car. Let's just reinforce how shitty this car is, figuratively and literally. Thank you guys, I'm here on me. Thanks guys, I appreciate it. And of course, they have the meeting and they're discussing how they're gonna make this thing great. And the first thing is Lambo doors. And Lambo doors, look, let's not give it too hard of a time because it was kind of the era in the early 2000s. If you had Lambo doors, you were kind of instantly cool, or thought you were instantly cool. But this time around, they make the doors go 130 degrees. So basically straight up.
Wow. Wow.
And now we all know where Koenigsegg got his hinge design from. Like literally, if you look at it, it looks like a terrible version of the Koenigsegg hinge because it goes straight up. But they show the install of it. They had to do some welding and some trickery and they made it happen. But then they moved on to the body kit, and that is the Vader body kit, which that body kit looks familiar. I'm gonna actually look up how much that Vader body kit was. Vader body kit. That explains a lot. It's only $300. Quality body kit. Man, that is just quite the investment for something that doesn't fit right. I wonder how he installed it though.
Next, I'm gonna glue the pieces into place.
Sorry, what? You glued this body kit on? What are you doing? I hang out with a body man all the time, Mr. Chris Tress, and if he saw that, he would probably have a stroke. So one of their main goals of this build is to give this girl technology. Technology that we today could pretty much not live with anymore. That just shows the times that people could still get by without a cell phone and a computer and everything. Now it's pretty much a necessity to operate in modern society. But Mad Mike hooks her up with this kind of BlackBerry that has very modern technology like broadband internet, email, it's a cell phone, it's got a digital camera that probably resembles a potato, and an iPod Nano that holds, wait for it, 1,000 songs. But that's not good enough for Mad Mike. He decides to go crazy. He decides to get 2 terabytes for storage and a MacBook in the back of the trunk. And it's so crazy to see how big a terabyte hard drive was back then, because now you can go to Best Buy and it's this big. I use terabyte hard drives all the time, but I can't imagine how expensive that was back then too, to get a terabyte hard drive. That probably had to have an external power source in order to make it work. Let's talk about the paint job. Okay, when they said orange and white in the meeting, I was like, oh my God, it's gonna be a creamsicle. But then he puts these silver pinstripes on and I was like, not all hope is lost. But with the silver, I was like, oh good, they're not gonna do oh, he's spraying the white and the orange. But then I was like, okay, the outside's kind of like a creamsicle. They're not gonna do the interior. There's no way that they have no taste to do, and they did it. Okay, so they did the creamsicle interior. This is right up with the Dragon Ball Z split interior from the Eclipse. My favorite thing about the storage of the hard drives is that Mad Mike said that it's 4 years of music. And then Exhibit comes around and goes, man, you can just steal all the music.
You got enough room to steal everybody's music. You know what I'm saying? Even the people that ain't even coming out yet.
Because if you think about it, this is the time of Kazaa and LimeWire, and Napster had already pretty much kicked the can because Rhea did not like them. They are not having that at all. And coming from a musician himself, of course that was kind of a little jab about how people were stealing his music probably. I will say though, the 7-inch screen is a touch screen and it connects and operates everything in the back of the trunk, which is actually pretty cool. I think that's really nice that they put that much effort into it to make it work both ways. Oh yeah, by the way, there's a monitor in the door. In the door, it's mounted sideways, so when the door is up, you can watch TV. Monitors. I will say though, when they do the montage of the before and after of the car, it's pretty good editing, because if you think about it this way, they had to take the time to make sure that the car, when it was a piece of junk, had to be parked in the exact same spot as when they parked it at the end, so they could cut in between it. Like, it's not a difficult effect, but it's time consuming to like tape down a marked area and block it right. That's a lot. Also, the gills on the Vader kit on the front bumper, they're very Z3 style. Have you ever seen the side of a Z3 fender, for example? They have these gills, and it was this very popular thing to do, even on Mustangs, on whatever had a body kit on it. A lot of these body kits had these Z3 inspired gills on the side, and even on the front bumpers. But then they're giving a tour of the interior, and then Mad Mike says something mind-blowing.
Hooked you up with a whole carbon fiber interior.
Carbon fiber interior? Why? Why didn't you just leave it? Why didn't you just leave it exposed carbon? Wait a minute. Do you think they actually did it and they just said it was carbon fiber? Anyway, point of the matter is they say it's a carbon fiber interior. I don't see the carbon fiber. It's probably painted over. For some reason, the steering wheel that's white, that's what kills me. Just, if you're gonna be tacky, paint the whole thing white, please. Or the whole thing orange, or whatever your goal was. But the poor girl picks up the cell phone and goes, how do I use this thing? I don't know how to use it. And then Exhibit is like, we wasted our sponsorship money. Why did we do this?
I don't know how to use it.
I will say though, with the laptop in the trunk, my brain kind of overthunk this one. I was like, okay, there is a place for it, but they're also using that to store music, right? To kind of use the interface with it. But at the same time, is that box ever gonna fail? Like, is it ever gonna fly out when she hits a speed bump or anything like that? I wonder if there was something to like keep the laptop in place that we couldn't really see. Because imagine if you just driving around and letting your laptop fly around on LA roads. That doesn't sound like a good idea. Also, they put a random bike in the trunk. There's no context for it, but it was probably some sponsorship called in to MTV and was like, hey, we have this really cool bike. Can you put it in one of your episodes? And they're like, we'd love to. Give us $100,000. Here's the thing though, guys. Watching these episodes of this show, even though they're corny, even though they're tacky, they still kind of make me happy. Like, coming back to this video series, it actually made me kind of happy. I was like, wow. I enjoyed this show so much as a kid, and it's such a time capsule, and watching episodes that I never watched before, that's the best. On that note, guys, what do you think about the Pimp My Ride Celica, and what episode of Pimp My Ride would you like to see next? Put it down in the comment section below, and thank you guys so much for watching this video. Also, I just want to mention one more thing. Only 78,000 people out of my 1 million subscribers have hit the notification bell for notifications. So if you love my videos or you like watching these videos, it would be a massive help if you clicked that notification bell. If you click it, it really helps me out. I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time, and take it easy. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.